through. Keep firing when you're running, just to see if you can take out any of them before, but they take like 4 or 5 shots a piece to be able to take out one. So really, half the time it's just better just to kind of barrel your way through. Now work my way up here using item number 3. Watch out for the giant spike compressor things from Metal Man stage. Wait for the chain to pull them up. Now for this one, I'm going to have to work my way in between both of them. And continue over to the right and fall down this ladder. When I do so, I'm going to land on a platform, and now I'm going on another set. There's going to be another platform here. But I'm going to use Beta Rush Jet in order to work my way across this gap real quick, in order to grab a big health item boost. And now fall down here and you battle with the boss. For this boss, it's the one of the bosses has become like a regular stay in the Mega Man series of a random boss that, even though it's multiple enemies, they use 1 health bar. So for this one, you have a whole bunch of these little tiny mini robots that form out of the tiles of the room, and they each take 3 shots apiece. But they do a very good chunk of damage whenever they run into you, so of course you want to avoid it. They'll stop for a few seconds and then charge towards you, and as you defeat each one, the next one that comes out is of course faster than the previous one. So by the time you get to the end, you have a very, very fast, ticked off little robot that's trying to take you out. And you saw I just got hit there because I was standing on a platform that was getting ready to turn into a robot, which is another one of the things in this boss that can be a little bit tricky. Here we go with the final one. He's taken care of. The screen flashes a little bit. And the boss for Wily Stage number 2 has now been taken care of, and now we're going to head to Wily Stage number 3. As we now see, of course, the map once again of Wily's Skull Castle, and we'll get to see the great path for Wily Stage number 3. And for this one, we're going to start off with a very large fall. Oh yes. As we're going to fall through random items, you can see if you want to use Crashman's ability to get through those things, you can. But I highly recommend not doing that. You want to keep a hold of Crashman's item, because we're going to be needing it in order to defeat a certain boss coming up. We have a little bit of more water to deal with, though this water is kind of putrid in color, and we really don't want to mess with. But we're going to jump down here and past these spikes, and slowly work to the left a little bit just to avoid it. It takes maybe 1 try or so. Once you get the path set, you should be able to get past these spikes with pretty much no problem. But then we're going to head down even farther, and now jump out here. Get past a couple of these little guys that shoot the different spray of guns, bullets, from Flashman stage. And then we're at the end. And it's a giant tank in the shape of Gutsman from Mega Man 1. To even further the obsession that Wily had with Gutsman, and why Gutsman pretty much was his favorite robot master ever. But for Gutsman's tank, he has a weak spot pretty much in his eye, and for it he shoots out these little tiny shots, and it's just best to kind of stand on the edge as much as possible of Gutsman's tank, and jump and fire, avoiding the bullets as much as possible. But they really don't do a whole lot of damage. You're taking a few shots from them. You don't want to get hit by the actual, like, falling off the tank and running into the wheel, because that will, like you just saw, will do a decent amount of damage. But it's still a pretty easy boss, because the damage factor that it does to you really just isn't there. So after a little bit of a longer of the boss battles, he's taken care of, and we're gonna warp out of there. And now we're gonna head off to Wily Stage number 4. We get to see the Skull Castle again. And here's the path for Wily Stage number 4. And this is the stage that at the end of it, we're going to have to use Crashman's ability. So there is some item boost there, in case you needed to refill Crashman's ability had you used it previously. This level is a little bit of annoying, because it is some open gaps, invisible gaps in the floor, that of course you're not going to be able to see. It looks like a solid platform, like right there was some, and right here. But I'm going to be able to jump over it, there we go, and hit the very, very bottom of that ladder in order to start climbing it. I really don't know how Mega Man hooked onto that ladder, but I'm really not going to complain about it. It worked. Here's, of course, the harder one because of spikes at the bottom, but you can bypass it if you just want to use Rust Jet, or Beta Rust Jet item number 2. You can just kind of ride across those open gaps, and you can just bypass any chance of falling in those spikes. From there, we're going to drop down here and land on a platform. And we saw these platforms, of course, these are the same ones that we saw in Crashman stage, but of course, at this time, if we fall off, we're going to land in some nasty spikes and lose a life. For this part, we're going to wait for it to come over and drop down. And now when we go underneath this pass right here, we're going to jump up to this little mini platform, wait for it to come around, and jump on it, and make our way to the top, and go down this ladder. Okay, once at the bottom of this ladder, we're going to have to wait a few seconds, which is kind of suspenseful, because you're always waiting for that robot, but if you time it right, you should be able to drop down onto the platform before that little robot gets to you. Take out a couple of the little mini robot guys, and work my way over, jump over that little robot, and land on this platform up here, over it, and I fell there, but you can of course ride that platform, or if you get hit by one of those enemies, you can fall on the spikes for a few seconds, because you do have a couple of seconds of immunity while you're flashing still, in order to bypass some of the spike areas and try to make it through that area a little bit quicker. But here comes that platform. Jump over it and go down here. And now watch out for these giant mech tank things that take away half your health. But I'm going to work my way underneath that one. I'm just going to bypass this one. It's not going to be worth my time. And now wait for this one to come over and go underneath it. And head to the right, and here's another one of those guys. You know what, I'll just take out this one for fun of it. And he gave me a little bit of a health boost. Okay, so here we go with the boss. Now, he has all these little bombs on the walls, and the only way you can hit them is with Crashman's ability. So for it, we're going to use item number 1 to get up to this platform here. Wait for it to disappear, then pull out Crashman's ability and shoot the one to the left of us. It'll blow up and destroy the wall. Then over to the left and destroy the one on the wall. Now for the next one, you got to make a quick jump up here, or you can use item number 1 in order to get up there. It's a little bit of a hard jump to make. Shoot that one, then shoot the one to the right here. Fall down here and shoot this one. Then you're going to want to use item number 3, if you still have some. I have a little bit left to get up here, just enough to make that jump. Pull out Crashman's ability again, shoot this wall down here. After it's destroyed, fire the last and final shot to defeat the last one. And with it, we defeat this boss of Wily Stage number 4. And now we get to head off to the next Wily Stage. And there we go. We get to see the skull map once again. And we'll get to see the map get drawn of the area that we're going to have to go to, which is a big long area, but really isn't that long, because we start off right in this area here, which of course there's 8 containers, and of course they contain 8 boss battles. All 8 of the robot masters we already dealt with. But we have to defeat them without losing our, we have to defeat all of them instead of just one of them in a row. This is of course Woodman again, and of course the same strategy applies. It's going to fire that leaf shield as soon as those leaves start falling from the ceiling. We'll try to jump over them and go under them. There we go. I mentioned that if you have that timing just down perfectly, you can do that almost every time if you wanted to. Wait for the leaf shield to go over, fire some more shots. Got hit by leaves there. Wait for it to come over, fire him a few more shots, and he's taken care of. The good news is, every time you kill one of the robot masters in this area, this boss gauntlet, they do drop a large health boost, so you can get some of your health back. Now here is Bubble Man, and he uses the same strategy as before. He's going to start off by going all the way to the left side of the wall, and then basically we're just going to focus on trying to avoid the straight bullets. The bubbles that he does that bounce, they're really pretty easy to dodge. It's more or less those straight bullet shots that he does at us that are harder to dodge. But the good thing is, they don't have these spikes on the ceiling in this room, as we did in his actual level, so you can jump all the way up and above where he would jump, if you want to bypass the bullets even easier. But I'm going to grab that health boost, and now head to the next one, which is a battle with Quickman. Except we're not in Quickman's level, of course, so it's not the same playing field, because he has just a flat room to run around with. And he doesn't seemingly run into the walls as much, but he still does it quite a decent amount, that we can maneuver around him and be able to take a lot of shots in his back to finish him off. And wow, he leaves the health item in a wall, so I can't grab it. Okay, well, I'll just go to the next one then. Okay, here's Crashman again, who I mentioned, in the battle with him about the pattern. I'm going to try to get that pattern working here. There we go. Got a little bit. Takes a little bit of time to get used to it, but once you can get it going, like there. See, we both go to the opposite side, meet in the middle, fire away for the explosion, and go underneath of them again. Like I said, every time you fire a shot is what's going to determine how many times he jumps. Because as soon as you fire it, that's when he jumps. So you have to time it so that when you're going to fire it, he's going to jump into the bullet. That's pretty much the goal. It's going to take a little bit of time in order to defeat him here because of how long the pattern will take. It's going to be one of the longer boss battles here. But it's better to beat it than to beat it, try to do it quickly and end up dying. So it's best to just take my time and not die. Only a few more shots are going to be needed. Come on, there we go. One more shot, and there it is. He drops a health boost. We pick it up. It almost gives me a full health boost again. And now I'm going to head up here and do battle with Metal Man, who of course doesn't have his conveyor belts, so this battle is even easier than the first battle with Metal Man.